I've got more great questions and comments from the Portable Soup episode and even the answers on the Portable Soup episode. Thanks for joining us today on Questions and Answers with James Townsend and Son. Here's a great kind of suggestion, a comment from iZonker. He says, great video and interesting points as always. One thing I would add regarding to the use of bones and using pork feet in particular. Depending on where you live and your access to certain ethnic markets, such as kosher, halal, or Southeast Asian markets, locally you may be able to source beef feet rather than pork feet, as well as tendons, which are strong sources of gelatin and absolutely amazing when it comes to making beef stock, portable soup, consomme, even a demi-glaze. I find personally that some of these smaller niche markets can sometimes carry harder to find cuts of meat, poultry, and fowl that would have been quite familiar to the eyes of our ancestors. I love this comment, and I especially like going to some of these ethnic markets because you never know what you're going to find that connect right to the 18th century. Very good point. Some of these things are still used in other cultures that we, in sort of a modern American grocery store thing, have totally left behind. So if you want to find some of that neat stuff, you got to go into those ethnic markets. So definitely, if you've got some close by, check them out. You never know what you'll find. Another comment, Jeffrey Vanderhorst says you could use cow's feet to help with gelling. Yes, cow's feet. And cow's feet are one of those things you'll find used in 18th century recipes. And there's a lot of archaeological evidence that sometimes, say, like soldiers or poor people, they were eating cow's feet much more often. So definitely something that you could use in this. Here's a great comment or suggestion from Kelly White. He says, an extra tip that may help those who are unsure if they're at the right point of reduction in this portable soup is to take a couple of teaspoons of the beef reduction out of the crock and let it cool to see if the gel is forming. Just put it in something like a Pyrex measuring cup and check after cooling if it's gelling, and if the gel forms, it's time to turn off the heat. So yeah, that way you don't have to let that whole thing cool off and see if it's going to turn into the right stuff. You can just take a little bit out and see if it's going to gel up. It's a great comment, and possibly suggested in some of the period cookbooks. They suggested the same thing. So very good suggestion. Thanks, Kelly. Virtual Super Soldiers. He says, oxtail would be the cut I would choose. Lots of collagen. I make an oxtail stew every so often in the slow cooker, cooked on low for 6 to 8 hours. It cooks till everything just falls off the bone clean. There's so much collagen that it basically forms a jello mold when it's cooled. So it sounds like it would make a perfect portable soup base. So there you go. Oxtail should be really good. And here's one more suggestion from Temperates Tem Rossi. He says, maybe adding some powdered unflavored gelatin to the broth might help it gel. Sort of like Jello jigglers. When it comes to the firm stage in the fridge, take them out and put them on the rack to dry with the fan blowing on it. Also, chicken's feet and pig feet make a good gel. Yeah, the unflavored gelatin is probably a way to go. I don't think you'll need to go that far. I mean, I think if you use the right cut, it'll gel up without too much difficulty. I think some of us are maybe trying too hard. Maybe we're trying to cook it too long or whatever. So, maybe with that other suggestion, just taking it out every once in a while and seeing if it's gelling up, will get most of the people that are having trouble with this kind of well on their way to being successful with their portable soup. But if all else fails, I guess you could try adding some unflavored gelatin. I'm really excited. We've got so many exciting things in store, so many other video ideas. In fact, too many for me to get my brain around and get them all done. So, stay tuned while we come up with, even more great ideas and concepts for these cooking videos. If you have suggestions, please give them down in the comments below. I read every single one. Thank you so much for sharing, and commenting and your great questions. And thanks for watching. If you're a new viewer and you haven't subscribed, press the subscribe button up here. That'll take you to a spot where you can subscribe. That really is the best way to get notification of all the new videos that are out. I want to thank everyone for watching.